Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my weekly review for the last episode of the first half of Fear the Walking Dead Season 2, of course on AMC. This is episode 7, this is for Shiva. Man, so this episode was nuts. If you guys haven't seen it yet, huge spoiler warning because this one was absolutely crazy. There was so many crazy things that happened this episode, it's hard for me to start. I'm like, where should I start? Okay, let's start like this. All right, so this is something that's been brought up by us back in the first season of Fear, back last year, which is that The Walking Dead refers to, or at least I don't think it originally did. I think Kirkman kind of wrote this in and made it seem like it. It refers to the survivors, not the zombies. Okay, so we are the Walking Dead, as Rick says in The Walking Dead. So the title of the show refers to the survivors, not the zombies, not the walkers. So in Fear the Walking Dead, it's something that people have brought up, and also myself as well too, is, and we've talked about it in many Q&As, does it refer to the zombies, of course, just like The Walking Dead, or does it refer to our surviving group? So should others be afraid of this group of survivors that we see? And in this episode, we had a huge shift, almost like just a crazy shift from everybody in our surviving group pretty much, except really for Strand, I want to say, and well, Alycia didn't really do much else otherwise. But this was a pretty nuts episode, and I think after seeing this one, it basically shows that, yeah, that kind of insight, or that idea that it refers to our group of survivors and that other people out there in the zombie apocalypse should be afraid of them, I think it's true at this point. I think it's pretty easy to say that is true. Other groups should be afraid of them, because in this one, what we got to see was it was like a total shift. Up until now, we probably viewed our surviving crew as a group of good guys. You know, they were easy to relate to. They seemed to be good people, this kind of thing. You know, working people. You know, guidance counselor and high school teacher and you know, a mother and you know, a father. And in this one, and Strand has been a little bit like, you know, yeah. But in this one, we get to see them do all kinds of crazy things that until you see it, you wouldn't see it leading up to it. So Madison, for example, with her first survivor kill, I want to say, which was nuts. Okay, major spoilers. So when you see her talking with Celia, and Celia doesn't even expect it either, and she locks her in with the rest of her friends, so to speak. Absolutely nuts, man. Really, really crazy. What a shift. And Nicholas knows it kind of right away when he sees her, and you know, he kind of knows that she's done something, and that Celia said that, yeah, you know, they're right to be afraid. Also, we have, of course, as we saw in the sneak peek, Daniel was kind of tied up in everything. So I figured, at least in the predictions, that that would be because of, you know, the group that they're with being kind of bad people. Thomas's, Celia's group to be bad people, and us to kind of be, you know, misunderstand that. But this was pretty crazy to see this shift in that, no, as a matter of fact, it is, you know, our surviving group, which we don't really have a name for yet. Our fear group, I suppose you could say. They're the ones that have caused all of this to happen. Chris goes nuts. Travis goes after Chris. You know, Chris almost kills a kid, or at least holds him hostage. I mean, Madison kills Celia, basically. Daniel first cuts the guy, and then afterwards attacks him again and knocks him out, it seems, and then burns the whole damn place down. I mean, beside the dying fire type deal. This was a pretty crazy mid-season finale, to be honest. There was a huge shift in this one that, I mean, I don't even know how I feel about it yet. It was so drastic, but I can't say it's out of character. Like, I can't say it's contrived. When you have Madison, you know, people have been noticing it, and it was a question in the Q&A last week on how I felt about Madison and her being, people called her a bitch, is what it is. They said she's worse than Lori. A lot of people in comments said this. And I'm like, well, she's protecting her kids. I can't argue it anymore. I can't argue it anymore. I mean, if they were going to leave, they could have just left. But this was like, you know, everybody's nuts. Everybody's gone crazy, except Strand. He seems to be still with it for the most part, even though he just lost his boyfriend, Tom's, his love. So Man, this was this was a nuts episode, and again, there's quite a few parallels between it and The Walking Dead, like Beside the Dying Fire. I got a big feel like that. I was like, oh man, it's like the season 2 finale, but they're doing it in Fear. It's the mid-season finale. It was cool. I got a lot of parallels like that in this one. Also, of course, the conversations between Celia and kind of how she sees them as still being alive or something, or this kind of idea that they're the next step of evolution. They're the next in line, right? For human beings, this is what we turn into next, so to speak, and eternal life and all this kind of idea. And, it's an interesting way to look at it, that's for sure. It could be attractive to people like Nicholas, and I like how Strand breaks him down right away when he's talking to Madison. He's, oh, yeah, your son is recovering. This kind of thing, he sees this, and, oh, yeah, he's susceptible to this, he's vulnerable. And so, so then that almost like is like a catalyst for Madison, that she feels like, she's not going to be able to get him away from Celia, and that she's going to have to do this and have to kill her, which is crazy. So I was kind of blown away by it. I was also kind of blown away by Chris, too, because you've got him, and he goes in, and Travis too. I didn't really see that happening there. He finds out, and at first when you find out there's someone in the room, I had thought, okay, maybe he's got his this guy's got his zombie wife or something, because they're keeping all the zombies still alive. But then we find out, of course, from the book that he does speak English, and that he's kind of Travis suspects it, and then he finds Chris, and Chris has got the gun, and that was a pretty nuts moment as well too. And then afterwards, of course, he decides with Nicholas, he tells him that he's gonna stay with Chris. So the group is totally separated up. You got the big fire, burns the whole place down, and everybody's all over the place. So again, very similar to the Walking Dead season 2 finale. So see how they find each other again, see how that happens, and if we'll have any certain group of them that's going to be split off, going forward. So it leaves us in a pretty interesting place for the rest of Fear season 2 at the very least. And I just, oh man, we'll do a predictions video still, even though we don't have, in about an hour I'll have that for you guys posted, even though we don't have any kind of, idea where they're going with it. There's no promo, there's no descriptions, there's nothing like that, and it looks like it's going to be returning in August. So we'll focus more on that in the predictions video that we do in about an hour. But it certainly was a pretty crazy finale, and it wasn't, I wouldn't say it's like a cliffhanger to the point where it was like bad. I loved it, actually. I thought it was great. It was pretty crazy fast paced. I mean, you got Daniel, he's going nuts. The score was incredible as usual. I would say, for the most part, not counting music, the score for Fear is better than the score for the original Walking Dead, I think. The music is really great. Atticus Ross, awesome. Love it. I love the score. It's incredible. So, man, crazy episode. Let's see what else we got. So, Nicholas, I like the scene, which was also from the sneak peek, or was it the promo, where he tells Madison that he walks among them, and he kind of enjoys it, and he tells her with joy, or this kind of thing. He's not afraid of anything, and he's willing to do it. Nicholas or Daniel going crazy, seeing his ex-wife again. So that, or not his ex-wife, his deceased wife. Sorry. So that was also pretty crazy, especially when she comes out at the end when there's all the zombies standing there and he burns and he's like, looking. So now I'm wondering, like, is Daniel going to survive? Is he not going to survive? Again, more stuff for a predictions video. So you can understand why Celia is angry at Strand. You can understand why she wants to kick him out. But if you look at her group, even though she did do the mass kind of suicide thing where with the people of the church and that, we saw her do that. So she's not without sin either. She's not, she probably could have helped them, and they could have survived. That wasn't really necessary, it seems to me. So she's not 100%, without sin either. She's not, a great person that hasn't done anything wrong or anything yet that we've seen in the series. But at the same time, like, she kicks Strand out. She doesn't kill him. And that's kind of what I expected. And that's why I thought this episode was so brilliant, because it was the opposite of what you would think. You would think that, okay, these are going to be the villains and they're going to try to kill our group or something like this is going to happen, and then our group will fight back and get away or something. And that's what we're going to see. But not at all. In fact, what we do see is the exact opposite of that. They seem to be pretty nice and not really doing anything. Celia seems to trust Madison, and Madison, closes the gate on her. Crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. So, oh man, I mean, all the way through, crazy, all kinds of crazy scenes happening. I don't really know what to say aside from the fact that it was just a nuts episode, and shit really did hit the fan in this one. And I loved it, man. I thought it was really great, and wow, I just can't wait to see the second half. Kind of a shame that we're gonna have to wait until August. So in terms of a review score, I'm gonna give this one a 9.4. This was an incredible mid-season finale, and really has me excited for what they're gonna do with Fear going forward. You know, I think at this point we're not seeing a good guy type group. We're not seeing a group of good guys going through. We're seeing kind of the start of a group of villains almost, you know, a group that sort of is more like Shane than Rick, I want to say. You know, so, which is crazy to see. You know, you got Daniel, he's hearing voices, he's doing all this crazy shit. Madison, she's doing this stuff, and oh man. So, yeah, I think I'll wrap it up here for the review for Shiva. It was a nuts episode. It was totally backwards to how I had thought it was going to go, and I loved it. It really surprised me. It really shocked me. And wow, I just did not see that coming. Absolutely nuts. The fast pacing too. Fear's been great, man. This first half of Fear was just incredible for season 2. So I'm actually really looking forward to the second half in August because, again, we really have no idea what they're going to do next. And this one caught me, it caught me by surprise for sure. So that's all I got to say for this one, guys. Incredible episode. Write your comments below on what you thought about it and if you were kind of shocked and kind of surprised by the things that they did. I feel like they were perfect. They felt natural. Like for Madison, if you look at the past few episodes, it's like it's natural, but it's still a little bit of a push, but it's not so much of a twist push that it feels contrived. They set this up. But it's still a little bit of it's still drastic, but they've set it up for a while now. It's not like they just decided one episode, oh yeah, let's just have this happen, this happen, this happen. No, she's been kind of showing that she's having trouble dealing with the world and having trouble dealing with, trying to protect her kids and what to do in Celia and right off the bat what's happening. So, oh man, crazy stuff. So write your comments below. Let me know what you guys thought about this one. I love this half, man. This was an incredible half of Fear the Walking Dead. And it actually has me thinking like, this show actually might be able to become as good as The Walking Dead. After an episode like this, I'm starting to think like I could see it, or maybe even at least, close to it, even though they got the nostalgic factor. But great stuff, man. Absolutely awesome. So write your comments below. Let me know what you guys think. And if you like this review, please thumb it up. Also, you can share and favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe at the bottom left, please. And I'll see you guys in about an hour for the predictions. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. I'll see you.